Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is BBB Sharing. I'm here, Evie Kira George with Ignite, sparked by BBB. And today, it's time for me to interrogate Mr. Barry Moore, our CEO.
All right, Evie, I can't wait to find out what we're going to talk about. You're giving my own medicine back, aren't you?
I am.
You have a conversation topic, and you're going to tell me ahead. And I said, nope, do what I do to you and every other guest, because I like right off the cuff. I don't like projected and scripted and all that. I like to just be genuine.
More natural conversation.
Yeah.
I agree.
So let's find out. We're going to see how you do with me.
Today, we're going to have a little discussion about harnessing the potential of video marketing.
Wow. That's a great one.
Yeah.
And you're going to talk a lot more than I am, I bet, because you really understand that. And you've actually taught me about it. And that's the benefit we have with you here as the director of Ignite. It's not somebody like older like myself that's been around. You're able to people come in here and for free, right? They don't need consultants, anything. You're going to help them.
Yeah.
Learn. You got a degree.
Absolutely.
You're smart. You're brilliant, and you're passionate about what you do. So, go ahead. Your show. Was how we do it.
So I wanted to ask you, Barry, when you first met me, I did talk about video a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on using video to market, especially for Ignite and the BBB?
It's a great question. And one of the reasons, we didn't even know if we were ever going to work together. I was trying to place you at somewhere else, but deep down, I really wanted to find something and things work out. And my career I've had a lot of mentors and things have opened up for me. I've been very fortunate and I've seized the day. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I have seized the day in most things I've done. And it's really up to me. I get the right opportunity, then it's what I turn into. So when I met you and you talked about video, you told me video is key and that's the power. And I always agreed with you, but the problem is, as you know, I am very incapable of doing everything graphically and making it look good like you do. So with you aboard and the video, your question is great. So Ignite is something for the future. Ignite is not the past. We live in a world that we've lived in a world with the BBB that all we do is complaints. We handle the stuff is almost ridiculous that we deal with.
Yeah, you guys hear some crazy stuff every day.
Yeah, I mean, what people term as a complaint and what they're unhappy about, they're whiners. And am I allowed to say that? Yeah, I read them. I mean, and it's unwarranted. And then you get the businesses that are really not that nice. They don't know how to answer the customer's concern. They don't have a process. They don't have the common courtesy to listen to the people. They open every day for a paycheck, right? Every business. Yeah. And when a consumer is not whining but complaining about a product, and then they go to lawyers, and lawyers take the cases. And I look at it and I'm saying, what in the world have we become?
Waste of time, waste of money.
Yes, and effort and agony. And there's real issues out in our country. I was hearing something on the radio this morning, some guy from England saying, you guys, your borders are a bigger problem than you realize. England, Paris, around the world, they have given up the power of their government and their constitution. And all it takes is people. So here we are. We got so many serious things. So I think, Evie, to answer your question, because you asked me a question, you don't want a sermon, but I think the video will help us at Ignite share what we're doing. There's going to be a lot of people starting to talk this way because we're almost desperate right now. We're at the end of our rope and beyond. And at 62, I'm glad I'm 62, but I have a daughter 29, and I'm scared. I'm scared for when I look around this community. So when we put the voice and we ask good questions and we have great dialogue, that's wonderful.
Yep.
But when we put the video, you've taught me, when we put this to video, and Mike King has done a great job with that. He has shown that he has done it. There's other people before him, and there'll be other. And I did it when I was at Haley with some videos. But the technology has changed so much. So to answer your question, video and audio, conversations, processes are going to be big at Ignite.
And you know this about me, I'm not one for wanting to be in front of the camera. My comfort spot is right here in the studio, more behind the scenes of things. But there is an overconsumption of junk. And when I say junk, I mean like people scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook videos, and it's a useless, mindless consumption.
Mhm.
Instead of putting in there interesting topics on video on our social media, on our YouTube page, BBB Serving Central Virginia on
Right.
YouTube, it's a good way to engage with our target audience and also get new people to really be interested in what we're doing here. Because we did talk about this. We want younger people. Well, we have a problem with younger and older people right now in that their time span for concentration is 10 seconds. So you've got 10 seconds, and if that, because I'm guilty, you got 5 seconds to get me hooked on something. And we need to make sure that we can get it out there and get it right so that people can be more engaged and interested in what's going on here.
You know, and with your talents, I mean, the other day, you get down to your comfort zone. So, as a young professional, and I went through this. I tell everybody I was introverted, right? When I was in high school, I went to the Petty School in Hightstown, New Jersey, prep school, boarding school. I was the poorest kid in one of the wealthiest high schools in the country, if not the world.
Wow.
And being the poorest kid without a car, and you had to ride a bike to school. I was a day student and had the same clothes every day. It was embarrassing, but you know, it made me to be a chameleon and value things much better. And it opened my eyes. And so people made me, I took a speech class, Harry Holcomb, I'll never forget, he's passed away. He was our drama school teacher, and I took drama, and then I took debate and then speaking in high school. And I started to energize, and I was the quietest kid. And Harry used to come up in a private school, as you know, when you're only 12, 15 kids in a school, you get a great education, and you can't hide. The faculty
they all know who you are.
No, they know your name, they know your parents, and they know what you're paying for tuition, you know. And you know, back then it was $3,000 a year, and now it's about $60,000. It's probably what it costs U of R, and if not more. And so I think when you get out, and you went to Wimby the other day. What's in My Backyard, Joe Crawley and John Morris, I think is the president. Met some great people, great conversation. And, you know, whether I'm your mentor or not, I'm your boss, but I don't look at it that way. I'm your teacher because I'm trying to teach everybody something that I could teach and give back because it's not something you could read about in a book. So you did an incredible job. So when you get people behind the mic. Now, how many people have we forced into this podcast studio in the last 3 weeks?
I think, was it 20?
I would think so.
Yeah.
We did Council of CEOs.
Yeah, we did.
Don't forget Council of CEOs.
Right.
I had our round table, and I forced them to come in here.
You did, yep.
And what do I say? Don't worry, we're not going to really tape it, or we're going to hit delete.
Yeah, we'll
you don't
hit
like
delete.
it. And what did they all say? Publish it. Let's go. Let's try it.
Yeah, because the reality is, you know, if you don't get that opportunity to sit in front of somebody face to face, a potential consumer, and give them your whole elevator pitch, right?
Right.
But with a podcast or on a video, they have time. Either they save it for later or they're waking up in the morning, making their morning coffee. And that's something they want to watch or listen to. That's what I do.
Right.
So for me, even though I'm an avid reader, I mean, I can read upwards of 10 books a week if I had the time to do it.
Wow.
But I don't have the time, and I still want to be able to consume information. Podcast and video is the best way for me to do it. And sometimes I write notes.
You do a lot of notes, and
I do,
I think that's a great thing because a lot of people we talk and go to meetings and nobody does. We got about a minute left, but I will tell you that, you know, the power of video. Think about this. My pet peeves are these nonprofits. And I donated, when I was at the car dealership, I donated over 600 showcases on WRIC that were costly. And I tried to help get the word out. Then I realized there's give.org, and these companies should be accredited, these nonprofits, just like businesses should be accredited. And then I started thinking about the power of video. Imagine pictures and video. If we start going to some of these nonprofits and almost shame them and shame the people in the room, they got a masquerade ball going and they got cocktails going, and their cause is whatever. It could be drug overdose, alcoholism, cancer, Alzheimer's, kidney trafficking, things that are serious. Pictures belong in those messaging.
Yeah. They romanticize and they glamorize
Yeah.
something that is just so awful that people
Right.
are going through. And instead, why don't you hit the streets and you take a video or you interview people that are actually on the streets because of the problems that they're facing?
Right. And find out the root cause.
Because that's the ugly truth.
Right.
It's that reality that's going to help people snap back
Right.
and be like, okay, so our community does have a lot more issues than I thought. Throwing money at the problem is clearly not fixing it. What do we need to do?
I think we almost like in this day and age, because we're somebody, everybody wants to be in that beautiful group. I used to call them the beautiful people in high school, and I wasn't one of them. And then college at Seton Hall, I started becoming it because I worked at the pub, played football, worked in bars. And also you're a beautiful person because you get people in the door for free and they want a free beer.
Yeah.
You can imagine that. But I think what I've learned is that we are now, those people are now my age. They have the money. They want to be seen at these nonprofit events, but they don't go to the shelters. They don't go to hand out. And then some of them do with their churches. They go to hand out food at the food bank and, check mark. But then they go home back to their $1 million home, which is fine. I mean, I love that life. I mean, that's what America's about. But why go to these things? Why go to a masquerade ball, spend at a new dress? Because God forbid, my wife would go to the same, and we don't do this. But imagine if I had the wife a trophy wife that has to be high energy and high maintenance, and she has to have a new gown, and it's $1,000 between cocktails, the tickets, the donation, and the clothes before you donate money, and the babysitter. Why don't you stay home with your family, take your kids somewhere, and have a family? Because family, instead of going down the wrong path and finding bad things to do at bad events, why not be home with your family and teach them? I never played darts. I never bowled. I never played in a pool hall, because when I was married, I worked 6 days a week. I worked 70, 80 hours a week, and I gave my life to it. But my wife gave her life to raise my daughter and provide a home. So Sundays, I loved going home, and it was a lot of stress because I was so tired and I was always working in my mind. But she gave me a place to be peaceful and unwind and get jacked up. So then, like, as you and I talk, imagine if we do a video of a food bank in one of the 42 counties we handle, and some of these food banks are building $5 million, $10 million, $20 million buildings. How much food is that? What are we doing?
It's ridiculous.
And I don't blame the board of directors and the executive directors. It's not their fault, but they got to stop and pause and say, what else can we do? And if we took a video and did a podcast and showed 400 cars in a line, where's the dignity in that? What are we teaching people? Third world nations do that. And
you've said it yourself. 9 out of 10 of those cars are probably going to be very nice cars, where the car payment is upwards of what, $300, $400, $500 a month?
$600, $700.
Yeah. And so, if you can afford that, why are you waiting in line for a food bank?
Right. And again, you might need it for some. I mean, we're not the judge, but why not give them stamps and let them go to one of the big, Kroger's an accredited business.
Give them a stamp that allows them to go to the grocery store. Like you said, have like a coupon where they can get it for a lower price.
Right.
It's discreet. No one's going to know.
Right. You just shop. And I've taken every weight loss program, and they say stay on the aisle, the outside perimeter of the store. So vegetables and stuff, make those coupons only for those things.
Yeah.
Don't let the food, you can't go down the sugar lane. You can't go down the ice cream lane. And something I love. I'm not calling the kettle black. I'm overweight. I got it.
Those foods are proven to be so bad for growing children, especially for their mind. It causes them to lose focus. It causes them to have anxiety. Those are not foods you want to be feeding your children anyways.
Right. And then they medicate the kid.
And they make it cheaper on purpose. Right. It's not cheaper to make than vegetables, than picking up vegetables and fruit. But they make it cheaper because they want you to consume it.
I had a surgery done up in Pittsburgh after my cancer, and I had a doctor that was, I think, from Iran or one of those countries in the Middle East. And wonderful guy, great surgeon. And he said Americans don't, a pair a day could change your mind and everything, your body. So we've taken now 3 minutes too much, but you're talking about emotional intelligence is what you were just talking about. So I can't wait to the next topic.
I'm excited. Thank you all for joining us. Remember to follow us on Ignite Sparked by BBB, Central Virginia, Instagram, and Facebook. And don't be scared to like and subscribe. Thank you.